So Jon Ossoff ruffled a few feathers when he said this.
The president sleeps through his meetings. He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
So at the very end, what Senator Ossoff is referring to is a recent report that actually came out where Trump had to switch planes and he wasn't able to bring many of his top advisors, one being his deputy chief of staff, but another was a woman named Natalie Harp. Now, for those who don't know, Natalie Harp is one of President Trump's executive assistants. She's around in her mid-30s, but she has had a particular interesting career of getting in front of and loving the president. So prior to her actually working for the Trump administration, she was a TV host where she said interesting things about Trump like this.
For 4 years, we had one who still inspires us to this day, as do the words he spoke at West Point over 1 year ago, which perhaps are even more timely now than they were then, in what history will remember as one of the greatest speeches President Trump ever made.
So now, as she's worked within the White House, it's actually been pretty widely reported that she's had some conduct and she's written a lot of correspondence directly to President Trump that has made people concerned.
Harp, quote, wrote Trump adoring letters that she left in his personal spaces, including one that read, "You are all that matters to me."
So now, since Senator Ossoff has been kind of the first big-name Democrat to say the quiet part out loud, the White House has responded pretty aggressively and pretty furiously against Ossoff, but also against this line of attack. See, what Senator Ossoff did is, like I said, he said the quiet part out loud, but he's also taking the issue on head on. It doesn't need to be something that people kind of hush-hush about, but he's saying, hey, this is actively something that's going on, and that's why the president isn't focused on the issues that you, the voters, actually care about. And also, given Trump's long-standing history of treating women, in the case in some form of fashions of being convicted of sexual assault, but also his just regular treatment of women journalists, it's not really the best place for the president or his aides to take his defense on the mistreatment of Natalie Harp. But I'm curious, what do you all think? This is something that, people don't actually bring up that often. There actually isn't an implication from Senator Ossoff that this relationship is sexual, but it's actually just deeply, deeply personal, that Natalie Harp is truly devoted to President Trump. But what do you all think?